Hello, guys, and welcome to another live stream with me, Professor Heather Austin. Today, we are covering the hidden job market, specifically how to land unlisted jobs. And this is going to be in 3 easy steps. Now, if you can hear me and see me and everything is coming through on your end, make sure you say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're joining us from. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. And of course, always subscribe if you haven't. Now, by doing those few simple things, it allows us to keep bringing free trainings and free content your way. Now, today we have some amazing content planned with you. I have some free downloads for you. I'm going to be sharing lots of amazing links with you. I have some amazing slides prepared, but let me know in the chat where you're joining us from. It looks like a lot of you jumped in early. So happy to see you guys here. Tim is here. Rita is here. Ashton, Erlene is here. David, Paige, Lady P115, love it, says looking for an operations position. Dennis is here. Laura is here. Teresa, Victoria, Karen, so happy to see you guys. I would take a second to say hello to all of you, but we have got to get started in this presentation today. So again, we are covering the hidden job market. We are covering how to land unlisted jobs in 3 easy steps. I'm going to jump over to my slides in just a second, but I do have to warn you before we get started. All 4 of my kids are home from school today. So they could be barging in here. We could have soccer balls coming through that door. We could have a puppy coming through that door. It could turn into utter chaos. But hopefully they remember that I'm live streaming so they won't come in and bother us. I forgot that they didn't have school yesterday and today. And they told me on Friday. And I said, you don't have school on Monday and Tuesday? I'm like, no, this is not happening. Anyway, we have some amazing content planned despite the kids being home. We are going to jump right into it. So if you guys, again, if you're joining us from the replay or the live stream, keep letting us know where you're joining us from today. Tori, my amazing assistant, is in the chat. She's going to be moderating the chat. She's also going to be getting questions in front of me so that I can make sure that we get some questions answered. So today, the hidden job market, how to land an unlisted job or unlisted jobs in 3 easy steps. Now, this is a topic that has been coming up a lot with my one-on-one coaching clients and my Career Academy members. And it's something that I thought I need to put this in front of you guys so that you understand what's happening in the job market and how you can tap into that hidden job market and find those unlisted jobs. Now, in just a minute, I'll be sharing with you guys a special link to a brand new resume and cover letter makeover workshop that we're hosting next week. So I'll share a link with you guys where you can save your spot or grab a ticket for this event. Before I share that, I want to know in the chat, what's one thing holding you back from landing your ideal job offer? So think about one thing that's holding you back. While you're typing that in, I want to share just a couple success stories with you. So we recently got a message from Joshua who wrote in and said, thanks to your videos and awesome resume template, I was able to get a $35,000 promotion. I'm grateful for the work that you do. Michael wrote in and said, after coming across your amazing and insightful videos and studying them day in and day out, he said he got the job. Before that, he applied for a position in his state 3 separate occasions, and he said he didn't get the job. He then decided to give it one more go after studying the videos day in and day out, which he was really hesitant about, but he ended up landing the job. And then Amy wrote in and says, I stumbled across one of your videos on YouTube and I have to say it was the best resume video I have seen. She says, the information you provided was so key and truly helped me overcome the hurdle of writing about myself and putting quantifiable achievements on my resume. She says, I was able to land the exact job I was after with a 30% salary increase. So this is what we want to have happen to you. In fact, I hope that after you guys attend today's session, put into practice some of the things I'm going to teach you, that you'll email me and let me know about your success story, because we get these success stories almost every single day just from folks in our community, folks that find us on YouTube, people that are enrolled in one of our programs. This is what our hope and desire is for you, that you will become one of these success stories. Now, with that said, here's just a few of the companies that we have been able to help job seekers land interviews and top job offers with. So again, we don't just go through large companies, we also cover small companies, mid-sized companies, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go throughout today's unlisted jobs that we're trying to find, right? Now, we are on air. This is a live training. We are live right now. I want you to get rid of all your distractions. If you have the news playing in the background, you have Netflix on, you have a bunch of tabs open, close everything. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb, because I want you guys to be fully present and play big with me today. I have lots of questions that I'm going to be asking you, and I want to see them. I want to see your responses in the chat. Now, if you're excited about this event, you're excited about what we're going to learn today, type yes into the chat. Type yes into the chat. I want to see where you guys what's holding you back. Someone says, what's holding me back is the lack of confidence after a long career break. Oh, that's a big one. Mary says quantifiable. I'm going to see if I can pull this comment up on the screen. Yeah. Okay. Mary says quantifiable achievements in my resume. Julie says my inability to communicate how great I am on my resume and my cover letter. Carolyn says either I'm too old or my skills are or my skills, and even though I have been doing an analysis all along. Yes, I totally get that. We also have what's holding me back, 95% declines on all my applications and one lowball offer. It is disheartening. Okay, you guys, tune in today, because I am going to be sharing with you some strategies that by the end of this session, you can leave this session and go put into practice, and hopefully we're not getting those 95% declines anymore or low ball offers, okay? I have lots of resources to share with you, including all of our amazing slides, so tune in for that. Now, here's exactly what we're covering today. We're gonna talk about why casting a wide net during your job search is the old game and kills confidence, which a lot of you mentioned already in the chat. We're going to talk about how to identify and create a list of dream employers. I like to call this your dream team that align with your goals and your values. We'll then talk about effective techniques to approach and engage with industry leaders on platforms like like LinkedIn. I don't know why I said Indeed. I've just been thinking about Indeed a lot. And then we're also going to talk about why refreshing your resume and cover letter will boost your chances of standing out. So with that said, I want to know, and you don't have to say Indeed because I just said it, what's your favorite online job board? So if you go out and you're starting your job search, what is your go-to platform, or what is your go-to online job board? Now, I want you guys to be typing that in. If you are watching the replay, pop that into the comments below this video. So the first thing we need to cover, why casting a wide net during your job search is the old game and kills confidence. So I want to share an image with you guys. Tell me if you can resonate with this image, right? So this reminds me of what the traditional job search approach looks like. And if this resonates with you, type yes into the chat. So you're applying to as many positions as possible. You don't have a clear target and you're hoping to get some responses. Or maybe you're using what we call the shotgun or the scattergun approach to finding these positions, right? And you get the results are just equaling rejections. Or maybe it's worse, you're not even getting a rejection, you're just not getting a response. So again, this image kind of brings it all together for me. It's literally like you're trying to hit a target with a blindfold on and you're expanding all this energy, but there's little to show for it. So type yes in the chat if you guys can resonate with this image. So I want to share with you what you can do instead of using this approach where you're blindfolded, you're going to your job boards and you're just applying for everything, right? Here's a simple here's a simple trick or a tip. I want you to focus on quality over quantity. So this is where you're going to apply for fewer positions that are more aligned with your goals and your values. So by doing this, a lot's going to happen. And I'm going to share exact strategies with you in just a second. Your efforts are going to be more purposeful. Your applications are going to be more tailored, which in turn is going to increase or enhance your confidence And not only that, you're going to refine your job approach. So we're refining it. We don't want to go through that traditional job search anymore. You're going to understand or better understand your value. And then guess what? The likelihood of a positive outcome increases. So I want to give a quick case study with you. This is actually Clay, who he also wrote in, and he said, I wanted to send you a message and tell you how much your resume YouTube video helped me. He said within 3 hours of sending in my resume, the VP of his #1 choice company contacted him. He said, we moved along in the selection process on day 1. He said, I never expected results like that. I just wanted to express my gratitude and let you know you are on fire with resumes. Thank you. I do love resumes. They're awesome. I mean, they're kind of boring, but it's something that I find a passion for. So my next question for you, and I'm going to give you guys some simple strategies here. I want to know one value that you look for in your ideal employer. One value. Now, I kind of want to see also where you guys are in terms of job boards and what you guys are. I know Indeed is a big one. Glassdoor is a big one. Kim says LinkedIn. Let's see, we have Upwork and Indeed. Hello, Catherine. So happy you're here. Yes, Paige says not getting responses, LinkedIn and Indeed. Love it. So one value that you look for in your ideal employer. Now, before I move into the next, kind of these strategies that I want you to put into place to actually find those unlisted jobs, I want you to keep in mind with these job boards. And the reason why I asked you what your favorite job board was, it's not because I want you to go and use these job boards and apply for everything that comes up. I want you to use these job boards specifically for research to find out who's hiring, what positions are they hiring for. And if there is something that does match you specifically, definitely I would love to see you apply for that. But we can't just apply. We have to take it one step further, and I'm going to show you an exact strategy on how to do that in just a second. But the idea is that we're really using them for research. We're not going to go and start spending hours and hours and hours a day on these job boards, because at the end of the day, and I can tell you because I meet with job seekers every single week, at the end of the day, it kills your confidence. And then when something does come up that you do fit and you do meet the qualifications and it is something that you're passionate about, you're almost hesitant to apply because you've been shot down so many times. So again, list one value that you look for in your ideal employer. While you guys are listing that, let me share my next slide with you. And this is where, and I call this your dream team, we want to identify and create a list of dream employers that align with your goals and your values. So I want you to think of this as a target list or a list of target companies. If you can create this list, and I'm going to show you an example in a second here, this will allow you to better tailor your applications, and it will allow you to leverage your networking opportunities more effectively, which we're going to talk about networking in just a second. So here's the first step I want you to think about when you are creating your dream team. Remember, your dream team is simply your list of targeted employers, your companies that you want to work for. So here's what you need to look for. We want to look for companies that align with your passions. So here's an example of this. Let's say that you are interested in the healthcare industry. Well, the healthcare industry is huge. There's a lot of different things you could do. Now, you're kind of doing your research on the industry and you're figuring out that, hey, I'm actually drawn to positions that allow me to have more direct patient care. Or maybe I want positions where I can do research. Or maybe I want positions where I can take that public health initiative. So you have to decide on that industry and then drill down to what that looks like. I mean, the same applies for if you like coding or if you're into the latest in AI, right? There's a big, huge, vast market out there. But what you need to do now is you need to find those companies that align with your passions. Now, from there, the next thing I want you to do is think about a deep dive discovery. So this is where you have to do a little bit of research. And I've talked a lot about this with my Academy members lately, and and my one-on-one coaching clients, you need to dive deeper into publications, newsletters, LinkedIn, articles, networking groups to really find if these companies that you have your eye or your heart set on are really going to be the company that you want to work for. One of the biggest mistakes I see job seekers make is they're in a rush to either get out of a toxic environment or they're in a rush to land that next job, and they get into the new job and they realize, oh my goodness, there were so many red flags in the interview that I should have recognized, but I just kept going forward with it. And now I've got to get out. And now I'm not happy in this position. So again, this is where you really need to do that deep dive discovery. I want you to attend conferences if you can, seminars, webinars. You could attend company earnings calls. There's so many things that you could do in this avenue. And then of course, always doing that research. You can find job boards that do have ratings of companies. So again, explore that. Take that with a grain of salt, because a lot of times you're going to get employees that have either been laid off or fired that are maybe not as favorable to the company. So take that with a grain of salt. You'll probably see more negative reviews than not. But again, if you're starting to see a pattern or a theme, that should be a red flag for you. Now, the next thing is scale and aspiration. So when I'm talking about scale and aspirations, this is where we really want to consider the size of the company. So is it going to be a startup? Is it going to be a company that's either a small or medium-sized corporation, or is it going to be like a corporate large size company? You have to really think about where do you see yourself fitting in. We are seeing a lot of hiring in some of those smaller to mid-sized companies, so consider that. Now, here's an example. If we're looking at the tech sector, let's say, a small company might be a company with less than 100 employees, where a mid-sized company is going to be somewhere from 100 to 500, and a large company might be 500 plus. That kind of varies depending on the industry that you're moving into or that you are in, but you really want to consider that growth potential. We are seeing a lot of job seekers right now who are taking jobs with smaller companies because their growth is like exponential, like over some of these larger companies that are really well known. In fact, I just had a client who accepted a job offer, was in his position, maybe a week and a half. Another job offer came in, and it's for a tech company, but it's more of a startup, smaller size company. The salary was only almost double what he was getting with this larger company. And he's like, I've got to take it. And he's like, I feel really bad about telling them I'm not coming back and that I've only been there a week. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you. So really monitoring what the scale looks like of that company and what their growth looks like. Now, the other thing is value alignment. So this is one of the biggest things that I've seen in the last couple of weeks when I've been meeting with my job seekers and my clients and my academy members, is they are looking at companies right now that are going to have a good culture, but they're also going to give them that job satisfaction. So you need to look at what your values are and find companies that mirror that. So again, I mentioned this earlier, you can use platforms like Glassdoor, you can use LinkedIn, you can use the company's social media pages to kind of get insight into what that culture looks like and also what their employee satisfaction looks like. So that's one of the things you need to make sure you add to your list as you're researching your companies. Geographic fit. This is another thing that we are coaching our clients on right now, is really looking at your location and if there is a remote work or flexible schedule. So there's a lot of debate right now in the workforce with companies that did let their employees take time off, or not take time off, work from home during the pandemic, and they've kind of extended that. They've now developed more of a hybrid work schedule, which I think is great because everyone knows how to do that, right? So that definitely works. But some companies, again, are now trying to get people to come back, and they want people in the office more frequently. And when I say more frequently, it could be 2 days a week, 3 days a week. You need to look at what what meets your standards. Now, it's really funny because with all my sessions that I've been having recently, a lot of people are like, Heather, I actually want to go and I want to work in the office. So again, if that is you, you need to find those companies that are in your area, those local companies. So when you look for positions or when you make that dream team, you're going to be looking at, I always recommend consider your local area if you're and what your commute time looks like, but also don't be afraid to find still those remote positions, because there may be some travel involved where you can go meet with everyone in the office once or twice a month or whatever that looks like. So that's something that you have to consider. How priority is that for you? And then, of course, we're always going to connect and learn. So this is, again, part of you creating your dream team. This is where we're really taking part in networking and informational interviews. So this will really help you build your network. You can connect with current or former employers through LinkedIn, people that have maybe shared industry insights. You can conduct those informational interviews with, again, those current or past employees to really gather information on the company and what challenges the company has, what opportunities that might present themselves. Now, before my next question, I want to share a quick sample target company list with you. Take a screenshot of this if you want. Let me remove my face really quick, and then you can do the screenshot, because I want you to see the entire slide. Whoops, that's not me. Here we go. Okay, so what you'll notice in this slide is you have your sample target company list. And what I've done with this, again, this is your dream team, remember. I'm putting out there that, hey, I'm going to have 30 different companies. Now, 30 might be too much for you. You might only want to have 10, but you can see that I'm going to have a few companies that might be small size companies. I'm going to have some companies in the mid-size company range, and then I'm going to have some companies that are in that large scale range. So when you're going out and you're searching for these positions, make sure, or your dream team, make sure that you have some companies in each of these sectors in your industry. Now, again, this is very tech heavy, this list. I could have a tech heavy list that is healthcare related, or let's say I want to be a project manager in another industry. I'm gonna have these companies based on my specific industry. So again, keep that in mind. This is just an example of how your dream team would look like. And again, you guys, I'm going to share some templates and some resources with you in just a second. If you take these steps into practice and you put them into place today or this week, and you start reaching out with the templates I'm about to give you, and by the way, I'm going to give you a link that you can go download these templates, and you're targeting companies now rather than these job boards, you're not going to have that 95% rejection rate. You're not going to have that confidence killing machine. In fact, my really good friend, if you guys don't know Andy Lasaveda, I love him to death. He is like one of my best friends in this industry. I love that he calls it the applicant trashing system. Whenever he says that, I have to laugh because I'm like, it is so true. It is an applicant trashing system. So again, this is you bypassing that ATS, right? And you're actually going in now and you're targeting companies and you're using specific templates and messages to get in touch with real people. So my next question for you, list 1 or 2 companies who are part of your dream team. So 1 or 2 companies, it could be large, it could be small, they could be medium-sized companies. Think about 1 or 2 companies that you would add to your dream team. Hello, Tim. So happy you're here. Tim says, how do you decide which industry to look at? So Tim, this is a really good question. I would say you've got to think about where you're coming from. If you're in an industry that you love and you're passionate about, you're going to stay there. If you're thinking about switching industries, you really have to think about, how can I now take transferable skills that I might have, and how can I apply those to my new field, or how can I apply those to this new industry? If it's a big, huge jump and you don't have transferable skills and it's almost like you have to learn new skills, that's okay. It's going to take a little bit longer for you to get into that new industry, but you really want to look at what you're passionate about, what companies align with your goals and your aspirations, what companies are growing. Because at the end of the day, you also do not want to get into a company that is going to be laying off employees, which we're seeing this. We're seeing, folks that landed these amazing job offers 2 years ago. Well, a lot of these bigger companies, they're now going through layoffs. And so that's one of the things that we have to really be careful of. Yes, good. Okay, let's move on to, good question, Tim. Love it. Let's move on to some techniques to approach and engage with industry leaders. Now, the reason why this is so important, again, is because we are moving past that applicant tracking system. We don't want you to have to, it's okay if you're going through and submitting jobs every so often on those job boards, but at the same time, you're going to have the most success if you are submitting jobs being able to almost hand deliver your resume. And I'm not saying you're going to go to someone's office. I do have some people that do that and it works out great. That's fantastic too. But I'm saying you're going to reach out online and you're now going to say, hey, I noticed that there's this position. Here's my resume. Or I noticed, can we have a conversation about it before you send your resume? I am going to be sharing with you guys 5 templates. In fact, what I want you to do right now is go to heatheraustin.online/networking. And I can't remember if I put this in the description of the video. I'm going to pop this into the chat, and Tori also has this too. She's going to pop that into the chat. I'm going to pin the comment so that you guys can easily grab this resource if it lets me. Let's see if it will let me. I know last time it wasn't letting me pin my comment. Yeah, for some reason it's not letting me. Let me see if I can pin it from this other window here. Give me a second. But you guys should have you're going to go to the heatheraustin.online/networking. This will give you, I'm going to show you in just a second. Okay, I have that pinned at the top of the chat window for you. This is going to give you, let me show you, I'm going to flip to a different page so you can see what you're going to do to get these free templates, because if not, you're going to have to type them in word for word, and that is not going to be fun. So here's what the template page looks like. You're going to scroll down this template page, click on Send Me My Free Networking Templates, enter your first name and your email address, and then say, send it to me. It's going to confirm that you're a real person, right? Because we get a lot of spam. So the email that's going to come to your inbox, it says something like, hey, your networking templates are ready. You're going to click on Get My Networking Templates. There's going to be like a button in that email, and then you'll have a link. It takes you to a Google Doc where you can just copy and paste directly from this Google Doc. So this Google Doc is amazing. We may or may not add to this over time. This is a free resource, you guys. This is actually something that I normally just reserve for my Academy members. This is a free resource for you if you want to grab this today. So again, go to heatheraustin.online/networking. Or just use the link that Tori has popped into the chat, and then I also popped into the chat, and I placed it on the I pinned the comment, so that's there for you. Okay, so let me go through these templates with you really quickly. So I'm going to show a couple of them at the top first. So this is what you're going to see when you get your Google Doc link. The very first template I want to talk about is this is going to be a LinkedIn connection request that you send to a recruiter after you've submitted an application. Now, let me talk about the difference between these. So you have the connection request after your application is submitted, or you have a connection request before the application is submitted, meaning there might not even be a position listed. So when we're talking to a recruiter, let's say you found the position on LinkedIn, or maybe you found the position on Indeed and you submitted through Indeed, or maybe you even found the position on their website and you submitted the application through their website. You can't just leave it there. You have to, let me remove my face from this page too for a second. And again, you can take a screenshot of this, but if you get your download, your free Google cheat sheet with these will be here for you. So you can actually just copy and paste and then use those in your connection request. Now, when it comes to the connection request on LinkedIn, I want to know in the chat, because I'm really curious how familiar you guys are with LinkedIn. We did a huge, massive LinkedIn 3-day mini series like last month or something. And we dove deep into LinkedIn, and everyone who attended, they know how to use LinkedIn now. But I would love to know how familiar are you with LinkedIn? Do you use LinkedIn regularly? Is it part of your job search? So the first one, again, this is our connection request you're going to send to a recruiter after you've applied. You're basically saying something like, hey, this is who I am. I applied for this position at this company. I'm excited about you're going to talk about how your skills and experience can contribute to the company. Can we discuss this further? Can we connect and discuss this further? You can tailor this to you. You have to keep it within a certain amount if you are doing the connection request. Connection request, you can't give a big, huge, long paragraph and so on and so forth. Now, the next template underneath this one, this is for a connection request before the position is even submitted or before you even applied for the position. Now, this is where, again, we are talking about those unlisted jobs. Time and time again, when we give this advice to our clients and our members, they take this advice and they say, oh my gosh, I sent a message to this recruiter at this company, and guess what? They replied right away, and they wanted me to send them my resume. And then I sent them my resume, and then I had the job interview, and then I got hired, and I did not have to go through that torturous experience of the job boards. Okay. So again, before the application is submitted, we're going to say, hey, I love what your organization is doing. This is one of my greatest strengths and passions. I would love to learn how I can contribute or how I might contribute should an opportunity arise. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Now, this is just the connection request. Is this making sense to you guys? Type yes into the chat if this is making sense to you. Awesome. Carrie, I'm so happy you're here. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see this. I'm going to pop Carrie's comment up on the screen, and then we'll get to the other templates here. Carrie says, I'd like to add to make sure that you really take the time to personalize your communications. The recruiters on LinkedIn have been complaining about people using templates and they all sound the same. Yes, 100%. So Carrie, I love this idea. The other thing I want you guys to keep in mind too, when it comes to LinkedIn, is if you have LinkedIn Premium, they're now allowing you to use their AI assistant, which could be what is making these messages similar. So again, you have to make sure you customize it. Add anything you can in there, like your personal touch, that really makes the difference. I love that. Thanks for being here, Carrie, and thanks for mentioning that. Okay, this next this next template, let me move my face again really quick so you guys can see this all the way. This is a LinkedIn email or, a LinkedIn in-mail or an email to a recruiter after the application is submitted. So in this one, let me put my face back up. In this one, this is longer. The reason why this is longer is because I wanted to give you guys that do have premium an option to just send a message rather than that connection request. So with LinkedIn, and they are changing their way because they want all of us to become premium members, which I don't think is a bad thing. If it fits in your budget, I think it's great. You can only say so much in a connection request, but in an email or what we call LinkedIn in-mail, you can say so much more. So this is an example. And again, what Carrie mentioned earlier, make sure you tailor or personalize this. And then you can shorten this if you want, or you can just kind of take this as an example and use pieces of it. So this one, I'm not going to read through the entire thing, but this is basically you're talking to the recruiter. You're saying, I recently applied for this position. I've always admired, talk about the company, what you admire about them, and I'm eager to contribute to your team or whatnot. In my previous roles, now you're talking about something you've done in a previous role because you're now linking back to, hey, I actually have experience in this. I would be a really good fit because I have done this before. And then you're going to talk about that skill that you've had, that you have your expertise or your accomplishment. in that third paragraph, and again, you could end it at that. You don't have to go into this detail, but again, this is sort of like a follow-up message. This is sort of like, hey, I've applied. I want to really now get in front of a person, because who knows if the ATS booted you out because you didn't have keywords, or if they booted you out because it didn't think you were qualified. So in that third paragraph, I'm saying I'm drawn to this role because of, and you're going to mention something you really like about that role. I'm confident that my background mention something that you know for sure can contribute, so on and so forth. And then I'm going to go in and say, hey, please let me know if there's any additional information I can provide to support my application. I'm super excited. Well, I'm kind of paraphrasing. I'm very much looking forward to the opportunity to discuss my skills, so on and so forth. Thank you for your consideration. I hope to hear from you soon. And then, of course, you always leave your name. So that's going to be the next template. Now, type into the chat, yes, if you guys have downloaded your Google Sheet and you are seeing these templates on your end so that you can just copy and paste them directly from that template. Okay, next template really quick. This one's super important because, again, this one is you guys finding those unlisted jobs. So I can't tell you how many times, and take my screen off, this has worked for our clients and our members. This is where now you're going to send a LinkedIn email to a recruiter before you've even submitted the application. So let's say that you don't even know if there's a position listed, and you don't even know what that position looks like, but you know you really like that company because, again, they're part of that dream team, and you know that you want to work for that company. So again, you're going to go in and say something like, hey, I am a blah, blah, blah. Tell them what you are. I've long admired. So again, you're talking about how much you like that company, why you like that company. And again, this example gives you like an example, like you love it because of their innovative approach, their commitment to sustainability, whatever that is. And then you're going to go on to say, although I'm aware that there may not be any open positions that fit my skill set, I believe that my experience with such and such. So it's very similar to the other template I shared with you. However, you're now going in and you're saying, hey, like, you might not have a position open, but I know without a doubt that I can bring it to the table. Like, I can do what you need me to do. You could bring me in for an interview, whatever that might be. You're going to say, I'm drawn to the company because of such and such. You're going to say, I'm eager to bring my background in such and such. Could we schedule a brief conversation to discuss potential collaborations or future opportunities where my background might align? Now, if this sounds too formal for you, you can always make it a little bit more casual. Now, you guys know that I am a big, huge fan of using AI in all of these steps of your job search. You can pop your own template into AI or use this one. Put your information in, go to ChatGPT or Bard, whatever AI resource you use, and you could say, hey, can you make this sound better? Can you make this a little bit more casual? Like, it doesn't have to be so formal, right? I like more of the formality. You could ask ChatGPT to shorten it for you. I like shorter and formal, so you could put those two together. Now, finally, the last template that I want to share with you guys, and this one is super beneficial. This is letting your friends or colleagues know you're on the job market. So one of the things that a lot of job seekers, it's a mistake I see them make all the time, is they're ready to get out of a toxic environment, or they've just been laid off, or maybe they're furloughed, or who knows what might be happening in the job market for them. And they don't let anyone know. Like, they don't go tell even their closest family members or friends, because sometimes they are they're ashamed. They don't want, it's like, it's hard to talk about that, right? But you have to get to this place, and I'm giving you permission to do this, where you start to let your friends or colleagues know, because we know at the end of the day that, oh, Gemini, you're right, Catherine, it is called Gemini. Oh, see, things change so fast. What was I saying? Oh, I was going to say, we know at the end of the day that most positions, 80% of the time, are hired by referral. So if you have a friend or a colleague that is referring you to a position, chances of you getting interviewed over someone that just goes out and applies on a job board are much higher. And that's vice versa. So that's why it's so important. I just took my screen off so you could see this exact template. That's why it's so important for you to reach out to people to let them know that you are looking for a new position, and just ask them, hey, have you heard of anything? Or do you know of, is your company hiring? So if we go through this template really quick, it says, hey, I'm letting you know that my amazing run at company XYZ is almost to an end. And maybe it wasn't amazing. That's okay. You don't have to say amazing. You could just say my run at company such and such is over. I'm looking for my next big opportunity. You can say, hey, you've always been a trusted colleague of mine. I highly value your insights and expertise. If you happen to hear of anything, can you please let me know? I want to be able to use my skills and then list the skills. Or you say, can you make any introductions on my behalf? And then here is the critical piece to this. You want to say something like, hey, is there anything that I can do to support you on your own career goals? Don't hesitate to reach out. Like when I get on a call with, we get a lot of people that write us in to share their success stories. And what we've been doing recently is I want to meet with those people one-on-one on like a Zoom call. And I want to know, hey, how did this program or how did this service work for you? What were your challenges before you used it? What results did you see? And they're giving me something amazing. They're giving me like a success story. And better than that, it's on video, right? They're telling me their experience. I always end those calls with, what can I do to help you? Like, is there anything, like we're on a call together, anything that I can do to help you on your journey? And they're in a job they love, but maybe there's just a little question they have. And almost every single time at the end of those calls, they ask me a question that really is impactful for their career and something that I can share my expertise with. So that, again, is so important. You want to make sure that you're asking them, hey, is there anything I can do to support you? Don't hesitate to reach out. You've always been an integral part of my professional development, and I would be happy to return the favor in any way I can. So this could be done in a text message. This could be done on LinkedIn. This could be done in just an email. I would highly recommend putting these practices into place, because if you do, you will be one of our success stories that we can share in one of our next upcoming trainings. Now, my next question for you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with networking? 1 to 5. How comfortable are you with networking? Is it super easy? You can take these templates and give me a 5 if you're like, I'm taking these right now and I'm going to go touch base with 5 of my friends or colleagues. And I'm going to let them know. I'm going to then go in and I'm going to touch base with recruiters that I've applied for positions. And then I'm going to also touch base with recruiters that I haven't even applied for. And when I say recruiters, it's not even just recruiters. It's hiring managers, it's leaders, it's the CEO of the company, it's maybe the human resource department. It doesn't even matter. You're just reaching out to someone, and these templates give you a starting point. You're going to develop your own rhythm and cadence to how you network and all that good stuff. But that is there for you to give you a good starting point. Awesome. Good. I'm seeing a lot of 4s. Okay. This is good. I'm loving the 4s. Hello, Chrissy. So happy that you're here. Chrissy says a 1. That's okay. We're going to get you up to a 4 or a 5. Emmy says a 1. Yep. That's good. That's okay. I think that's okay. You're going to take these templates if you are ranking lower, and you're going to go out, and I want you to report back with how this goes. Now, last tip for you guys today. I want to talk a little bit about refreshing your resume and cover letter and how that's going to boost your chances of standing out. I meet with a lot of folks that haven't been on the job search in like 10, 15 years. So they were either just let go, resigned, they're in a toxic environment now, they've got to get out, whatever that might be. And they've always found positions through word of mouth, which is amazing. And that's what we're talking about, right? But we also need to have a refreshed resume and a cover letter to help you stand out amongst your competition, right? So here's the reason to have these 2 things updated and refreshed. It enhances your brand and elevates your application. But not only that, it helps you beat the applicant tracking system. So I put out a video a couple weeks ago, and I was sharing an example of, let's say you have 100 people that apply for a position. And let's say 20 of those people have done all the amazing things, put the keywords in, so on and so forth. And the other, 80 didn't really put time into it. Well, those 80 people are automatically thrown out the door, right? Well, let's say of those 20, 5 of them really not only added the keywords, but tailored their resume to that position. And let's say those 5 are the ones that get the interview. Well, the ones that never got the interview could be the perfect fit, but they just didn't have a refreshed resume or a refreshed cover letter. They didn't have the right keywords. They didn't know how to get past the ATS. And then you're the one, let's say it's you, and you get notified, hey, sorry, we're not going to choose you for this position, or they don't even respond. So day in and day out of doing that starts wearing on your confidence. So you probably joined us today. Maybe you're on our email list and you got our email, which, by the way, if you are on our email list and you want to make sure you get these notifications about these events, if you found any of our emails in your promotions tab, drag it to your primary tab so that you are notified when we do these live trainings. A lot of you probably joined today because you're like, yeah, I want to tap into those unlisted jobs. I want to be able to build and engage a professional network. I want to learn how to use LinkedIn more effectively. I want to have a better job search because my job search process is just not working. Now, for the majority of you, I know that you want to land your life-changing job offer. You want a position that allows you to have a better work-life balance. You want to spend more time doing things with people you love and doing activities you love. Now, I don't have magic tools, but I do have resources that our members and our clients time and time again have used to find work they love. So I want to invite you guys to our ultimate resume and cover letter makeover workshop. So this is a brand new workshop. We've never held this workshop before. We're currently in the process of getting all the amazing materials together for you. It's happening next week, but this is a live interactive workshop. It's designed to help you write a winning resume and authentic cover letter that tells your true career story and lands you that life-changing job offer. Now, the real goal behind this workshop is to help you secure those top offers and boost your earnings. So similar to all the stories that you have heard here today, this is happening next Tuesday, March 19th. This is a private workshop. This is not a workshop that we are offering on YouTube in the live stream setting. This is a private Zoom workshop happening on Tuesday, March 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I want to share just a couple more success stories with you, and then I'm going to share with you guys what's inside of this program. So Kevin wrote in and said, I finally got the job offer thanks to Heather and all of her help. In fact, every interview I had, I received an offer from. He says, if you're searching and have been laid off, trust me, you'll find something. Hang in there. It always gets better. I love that message from Kevin. And then Lynn popped in, and this is, again, she's one of our amazing members that have used the networking tips. She says, I landed my dream job through referral using your networking tips. Surprisingly, the position was not even posted anywhere on LinkedIn or Indeed. She's like, I start my first day in 2 weeks. Now, I want to share another success story with you guys. I'm going to introduce you to Pam. So Pam actually had some things going on with her company, and she's like, oh crap, I think that they are going to start doing layoffs. Well, I haven't written my resume in a long time or my cover letter. I better learn how to do that so that I'm prepared when that actually happens. So I want to introduce you to Pam, and then I'll see you on the other side of this clip.
So I'm Pam Pridgeon. I'm a senior contract manager for Allina Health. We're one of the largest care systems in the Twin Cities. A person that I work with had, I'm not going to say insider information, but information about the organization that we all knew we were having financial difficulties, and we had a reduction in force coming. We just didn't know where it was going to hit, who it was going to hit or how it was going to all play out. I didn't want to get caught being part of a riff and not have everything in place to start looking if I needed to. I had not updated my resume in 15 years, maybe. Very outdated from just what the market's looking for today. I knew I needed a refresh, but I wasn't quite sure how to do that myself. And so I had one person that I work with who signed up with somebody to let somebody else write their resume. Very expensive to have that done. When I learned what she was paying for that, I thought, wow, okay. And what was interesting is her finished product and my finished product, after going through your toolkit, followed all the examples, your action statements on how to write, your results oriented components of it, the refresh on the LinkedIn page under, kind of that about me. It was interesting because I felt like I actually liked mine more than I liked hers.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, you paid for this. Okay. I
Yeah.
think I got a better deal here. I redrafted my resume. I came up with a few different versions of cover letters, which I had written a cover letter, obviously, in many, many years. And then I went through and used it to update my LinkedIn page. I made the effort to go out and get references. You talked in some of your videos about AI and the automated deselection almost is kind of how I took it, that you go through when you send stuff through portals or online, and making sure that, the right buzzwords were in there depending on what I was applying for, and then tweaking as I kind of applied for different things. And I did test it. There were some positions that, looked interesting. So I applied as we got closer to the riff. And I figured, might as well look. It was interesting. Once I updated my LinkedIn profile piece, I suddenly had a lot of people reaching out to me. But it was really kind of bizarre to me because I had people reaching out to me from completely different industries, wanting to know if I wanted to leave healthcare and go do contracting in some other industry. And that was a new experience. So
Yeah. Is there like a specific aha moment that you can pinpoint?
when you actually started talking about your jobs, the more action-oriented and results-oriented statements, it had never occurred to me to write it in that fashion. And I felt like once I understood that concept, actually sitting down and writing my resume was really easy because I just pulled out all my performance reviews for the last 10 years with all of my goals. I guess the big aha for me was this isn't my job description.
What was the most beneficial or played like the biggest role in your job search?
The template, the resume template. One, because again, in some of your videos, you had talked about how you format so that you don't get kicked out from AI. I felt like the template gave me the framework, and then I could write what needed to go in the framework. But one thing I did do was I didn't start with a blank sheet of paper, but I didn't start with my old resume either. I didn't want to be boxed into old ways of thinking. So it was, okay, that's that. This is my template. Now, how do I take what I do today and the successes I've had and put that into this template? So for me, the template was golden. And we were all proofreading each other's stuff. And I actually, people ask me who wrote mine. Oh, I wrote it with
That's awesome.
And then the templates for the cover letters. Like I said, I had not had to write one of those. I mean, everything that I had written down, and it's funny because I had a notebook that was just about like job related stuff. All the questions I had were answered in what you presented in the materials.
Okay, I love Pam's story so much because she talked about how she learned the proper strategy to write the resume while her coworker hired a super expensive resume writer. And then the other thing that I love about what she mentioned is that she used the templates and the framework, and then her colleagues were like, hey, that looks awesome. I want those templates in that framework too. So that's basically what we're going to teach you guys inside of our workshop. So let me show you really quickly what's inside, and then I'm going to take a couple of seconds or minutes at the end and we will do questions. So Again, this is happening next Tuesday, March 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This does come with unlimited replay access. So as soon as you enroll in this workshop, you actually get put into our learning management system where you get actually access. Like there's a placeholder for this course because all of the lessons that we're going to be doing next week will be uploaded into the course. So you'll have access to that forever. That will be in your online library. Now, I know that someone had mentioned, let's see, who was it? Someone had mentioned earlier, oh, Angela, so happy that you're here. Says, has this been updated in the last 2 years? I already took this a couple years ago. This is a very brand new workshop. So we've never hosted this exact workshop before. We are doing, it is a version of our resume writing workshop and our cover letter workshop that we're bringing together just because there's so much to cover when it comes to really refreshing those two documents. So this is a new workshop. Okay, let me go through really quickly what's inside of it. So we are talking about, again, that ATS friendly framework. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about how to write a persuasive resume summary that targets those employer-specific pain points. And I'm going to show you different versions of the summary. Some people like a longer summary. Some people like a shorter summary. So we go through those. And then, by the way, the great thing about learning how to write your summary is you can now bring it into your LinkedIn about summary. So once you have it written in your resume, you can now transition it and turn it into first person and put it inside of LinkedIn. Now, the other thing we're going to talk about is a simple formula for turning your responsibilities into achievement statements. So again, Pam touched on that. We've also had, we get people, Amy, her testimonial earlier, or her success story said, hey, you finally taught me how I can talk about myself and really turn those achievement or those job responsibilities into achievement statements. So that's another focus that we will have during this workshop. We'll then dive into the 3 types of cover letters that you need to boost your resume. So again, I mentioned here the one size does not fit all. That approach is gone. We need different cover letters or introductory statements. I really don't love the word cover letter because a lot of people are like, hey, this company, they don't want me to write a cover letter. But what they do need, though, is they need you to be able to introduce yourself in an email or talk to them over LinkedIn in a message. So again, we're talking about the 3 types of cover letters that you need that will boost your cover letter or your resume. We're then going to dive into a signature 5-part cover letter framework. So again, this is where I'm breaking down the cover letter into 5 different pieces. Again, we're going to go from that formal document, what does that look like, all the way to a little LinkedIn connection request. What does that look like? Because that is a form of a cover letter, right? Think of it as just introducing yourself. Well, then, of course, because I love AI, we'll talk about a smart approach to using artificial intelligence in both your resume and your cover letter. I'm going to share another link with you during next week's workshop that actually has the prompts in a Google Doc. So a lot of my trainings, I have you just screenshot the prompts. I will be sharing with you the prompts in a Google Doc, very similar to what you got today for free with the free networking, essential networking templates. It's going to be really similar to that so that you can start actually like just copy and paste and pull it into a message or have it have AI help you with your resume and your cover letter. I'm not a big fan of having it write the entire thing right up front. We have to prompt it a little bit. We have to give it a little bit of information. And I'm going to share with you guys next week how to do that. Now, we also have added some amazing bonuses to this training. We've never done this before. Normally, if we do like a workshop like this, a paid workshop, we don't have all these awesome bonuses, but we've added this in because these are going to be a game changer for your job search. So our 3-part LinkedIn mini series that we did in January / February, that's all going to be inside of your library. So as soon as you enroll, you'll actually have access to that. Now, this was such an amazing workshop. We had so many people later that were like, I want to see this workshop. And we've actually never even offered it for people to purchase. But if you do enroll in this resume and cover letter makeover workshop, you'll get access to that 3-part LinkedIn mini series. The other thing you're going to get access to is our AI-powered job search tutorial and ChatGPT prompts. So this is a separate training, and it encompasses like all the different parts of your job search and how to use AI in each part. So you've got the job searching, you've got the resume, the cover letter, the networking, the salary negotiation, the job interview. So we give you and introduce you to how to bring AI into every piece of that process. We also have our job interview confidence training that will be in there. That's where we really dive deep into how to master your next interview. We go through answering those commonly asked interview questions. We go through managing your nerves. We go through what questions you should ask. These 3 things right here, you will have immediate access to when you enroll in the workshop. Now, of course, the live workshop is next week, that you won't have access to that until next week, but these other things you'll have access to immediately. Now, we also have our template pack that we are getting ready for you. So that one you'll have access to. We'll be sending that out closer to the start of the event date. So you're going to have professionally curated resume and cover letter templates and examples in there. And then we're also going to have our cover letter magic workbook in there. So that will be something that you guys have access to. And I want you to bring that with you to the workshop, because I want you during this workshop to be actively working on your resume and your cover letter. So again, this happens next Tuesday, March 19th. This is an interesting thing about this workshop, is that spots are limited. So we can't just have everyone from anywhere come and join. This is a capped enrollment. So once we fill the spots, we won't be enrolling anymore for this. So if you want to join us live, make sure you use the link that Tori has popped in. And then I'll also share, I've pinned a link. I'll share it in just a second with you on the screen where you can grab that link. But again, the total value of all the trainings and the templates and the resources inside of this makeover workshop is worth more than $2,764. And you're probably wondering, Heather, what is my investment for this? So you can join us today in this workshop for just $47. That's it. We're not going to offer this for $197 right now, which it will be later on. If you want to purchase it on our website, $47. That's all your investment is for this workshop. All you need to do if you want to join us, and by the way, this is almost like a 75% savings on any of these workshops that we offer online. If you join us, go to heatheraustin.online/live class to grab your ticket. We always have options for payment for you guys. We have PayPal. We also have in our checkout software something called iLink that allows you to pay really quickly. So PayPal or credit card. heatheraustin.online/live class. I'm going to take questions in just a second. I want to share a few more success stories with you guys, so that you know what's possible when you put into practice these things, and if you decide to join us inside of our resume and cover letter makeover workshop. So Robert wrote in and said he'd been a realtor for 9 years. Before that, he was in the U.S. Army for 7 years. And so he said, I had no resume. He said, I used your template and followed all of your instructions to the letter and landed an interview with the exact company that I was interested in. He says, he goes on to say, I'm using your interview guide cheat sheet. I was thrilled to know that you provided everything I needed to prepare and land this position. Leah wrote in, and actually she wasn't getting any results at all from her job search. She says that she wasn't getting results. She came across the videos that we have on YouTube, the resources that we provide. She revamped her CV according to my template. She said, I ended up accepting an offer for a project coordinator role for a great company. And this is what I think is the most important about what she says. She said, this means a lot to me and my family, and I'll be bringing in the money I wanted and working hybrid. So these are the types of success stories we want to hear from you guys. Another quick success story, Ed had been on a discouraging and exhausting application process. He said, I discovered your resources. I put into work what you wanted me to, and I landed a job offer with a great company. So again, this is what we want to have happen with you guys. Just to recap, we're going to have our 6 impact resume and cover letter lessons. So that's what we're going to cover next week. You do have access to the bonus material. That's going to be your LinkedIn job search 3-part mini series, your 120 plus proven ChatGPT prompts with tutorial, our bonus job interview confidence training. The exclusive bonuses are the professionally curated templates and examples, your essential cover letter guide and workbook, that's included, and then our fast action bonus, which is going to be a 60-minute career coaching consultation. In fact, I forgot to show you guys the fast action acting bonus. Let me pop that up to this on the screen so that you guys can see what that is, which we've already had quite a few people enroll in this workshop. The people that have enrolled before today, you guys will have access to this fast action bonus. So let me take my face off the screen really quick so you can see exactly what this is. This will be for the first 20 people who enroll today, or the first 20 people from here on before the workshop. You will have access to our next 60-minute group career coaching consultation. Again, this is where we take a deep dive into some of your biggest challenges and really offer you additional support in your whatever phase of the job search you're in, because there's so many different phases that you could be in. You could be just starting the job search. You could be on your resume. You could be on your cover letter, your interview. You could be in the networking part of this. You could be in the salary negotiation part of this. We want to give you the support that you need to land that life-changing job offer without a huge, massive, expensive program. You don't need a big, huge, expensive program, even though we do offer those. But this is to help you get started and hopefully moving into that new opportunity. So again, go to heatheraustin.online to get your spot. We will be taking the first 20. We'll get our 60-minute group career coaching session. But at the same time, remember, this is a limited spot availability. This workshop is limited. You won't, once it's filled, it's filled. Maybe in the future we'll do it again. Yes, I love Catherine. You're so awesome. She says, holy cow, this is a giveaway. This is a giveaway. And by the way, if you were at our last workshop with our LinkedIn, we had so many amazing giveaways. It's like the funnest thing. So good. Awesome. Karen says, just signed up. Good, Karen. I can't wait to see you in there. Gigi says, how long is the workshop? So I would like to get you in and out of this workshop in 2 hours, but I am planning on at least 2.5. It could go a little bit longer. We will be doing resume and cover letter reviews during that. I may even attempt like a full rewrite of a resume and a cover letter. We'll see what we have time for. We did think about breaking this workshop into 2 days, but I'm like, you know what, let's see if we can get it all covered in 1 day. So, I think we should be good at 2 hours. It might be a little bit longer though, because I like to share a lot of information. So, that's something that we'll need to keep our eye on. So let me see, Tori, what questions we had come in earlier. Oh, this is a good question, and it's probably way up in the chat, so I'm not going to put it on the screen. Someone said, should you exclude dates on resumes? Are you talking about exclude dates in terms of education? If you are, it depends on how old you are, and it depends on when you got the education. So if your education is from a long time ago, I recommend excluding the dates just to prevent age discrimination. But of course, you're always going to include dates for your jobs and when you were employed and so on and so forth. Let's see. Someone had said, what's more of an impact, using LinkedIn to reach out or to email them? I would do both. In fact, I would send a LinkedIn message. If you have InMail, you can do that longer email message that I have on the template. And by the way, you guys, if you downloaded your templates or if you were able to get them, type yes into the chat. If you're able to get your templates, type yes into the chat. If you don't have your templates yet, what I want you to do is go to heatheraustin.online/networking. You will get a direct link to the Google Doc with your templates, and you can copy and paste those. Those are free. I'm giving you access to those today. So make sure you get in and do that. So back to that question, I'm wondering if I could find it in the chat. I'd love to pop it up on the screen, but the chat moves so fast that sometimes I can't keep up with it. So I would definitely send a message through LinkedIn InMail if you can. If you don't have premium, use LinkedIn, just a connection request. If they've accepted your connection, you can then message them regularly. But then if you can find their email, definitely email them too. Because you got to remember, a lot of people aren't always active on LinkedIn every single day, and they might not see your message right away. I mean, if they're actively recruiting for a position, they probably are active on LinkedIn. But other than that, it doesn't hurt to do email. Someone asked, is it better to use a Word doc or a PDF for PDS or for ATS? This is a really good question. When it comes to your, we're going to talk all about this next week. In fact, I'm going to share exact formatting tips on how to pass that ATS, right? So when it comes to submitting those resumes, it really depends on what the company is looking for. Normally, when it's an ATS resume, it wants some sort of doc. Like, it needs to be able to read through the information. A PDF document is, it's actually getting better though. Like, now you can click on a line of text and you can change it and edit it. I would say if you know 100% without a doubt it's going through an ATS, I would submit it in a Word document. If you know 100% it's going to a person, make it look amazing and submit it in a PDF document. Good question, Kim. I'm going to pop your question up. Kim said, because I can see it, it's right in front of my face. Kim says, going back to work after long-term disability, but don't want to return to a toxic employer. Do I tell interviews I've been off on medical or disability leave for 6 months? So Kim, this is such a good question. I feel like I've answered this before in a couple of our coaching sessions with our members. When it comes to telling them about your disability or medical leave, you don't need to mention that right up front. The thing that I want you to focus on when in these interviews is I want you to focus on your value. Like, what are you bringing to the table? What is your expertise? What are your talents? What experience do you have that is really going to meet the demands of this job and really help you perform in the best way possible? They don't need to know about all that other back end stuff, right? They don't need to know. When they do need to know, the questions will start coming up and you can mention that, but why tell them? Is it because, if it's going to impact your job in some way, then maybe that's a conversation you can have sooner rather than later. But I would say your number one goal right up front is to talk to them about the value you're bringing to the table. How are you going to help that company increase productivity, get results, decrease costs, increase revenue? Like, that's your focus. How am I going to bring value? And what can I show them that is going to help me bring that value? What expertise do I have? What talents do I have? What experience do I have? So I don't want these gaps, or I was off because of medical disability. That shouldn't even be a topic until you're further into the process where you've shown your value, right? Again, I think it's really easy to focus on some of these negatives when you jump into an interview and say right up front, oh, I got to tell them that I was let go, or I've got to tell them that I have this, this, and this. When no, like, you're telling them how amazing you are. Like, that's the focus. And then as you get deeper into the process, and if they need to know for some reason, like, why do they need to know? Is that going to affect your job performance? Is that does it mean you need a different work schedule? Like, then that's when it becomes a topic. I love it. Someone says, my baby is distracting me. That's funny. My kids surprisingly are being really, really quiet. I'm surprised we haven't had a soccer ball come through that door. um, yes, good. Okay. Gigi asked a question. After signing up for the March 19th workshop, will we get an email with the Zoom link prior to the call? Yes. As soon as you sign up, you actually will get the Zoom link call right away. So not only do you get access to the online, like the bonus material, you'll have access to that bonus material like instantaneously. So you can start looking at that. And then you get a confirmation email that's like, hey, so super excited that you're going to join us. Here's the link to the Zoom room. So you actually get the link right away. And then we will be sending out the template pack and the cover letter workbook. So that's all going to be coming to you. But you do get instant access to those other things. Good question. So you're welcome, Michelle. Says, thanks for answering my ATS question. Carrie, I love that you're in the chat. You're freaking amazing. I love Carrie. By the way, you guys, if you are also not in our free Facebook group, I think we have like 18,000 people in that group. Make sure you join the group. What is the link to the group? Tori, I didn't even pop it into our document. But you guys should be in there if you're not in there. So that it's basically like it's facebook.com/groups/the career club. That's the name of our group. Let me see if I can log in and get the link for you. Actually, Tori, I'm sure you scroll down the document and we can find it there. So this is a group where there's so many amazing people in this group. We have other career coaches, we have recruiters, we have hiring managers, we have job seekers, we have people in there all day long sharing stories, asking questions. I'm in there a couple of days a week answering questions and posting links to our trainings and things like that. If you guys have not yet joined that, make sure you do. We do have another amazing person on our team who will be accepting if you answer all the questions, she'll allow you into the group. Make sure you answer all those questions because we really just want it to be like a high value group. No spam. We don't let spam. We don't let people promote random things in there. So if you're not in there, make sure you join that group. I was mentioning that because Carrie's in there. She's an amazing contributor to that group. So I love seeing you in this on the live streams, Carrie. Okay, Gigi says I've not received the Zoom link. Check your promotions tab. Check all that because that will come through immediately. I love it, Catherine. Oh, okay. Lizette says haven't received it either. Give it a couple minutes. It should be there. And if not, always email me. You guys always have my email address, heather@professораustin.com. And Tori's in the inbox with me as well. We answer the emails as quick as we can. Sometimes we get lots of them. So give us a minute if we haven't responded. But yeah, all that should come through automatically. Check if you're not seeing it, check spam. Check all those links. But that one we've tested and that shouldn't go to spam. So, but always email me at heather@professораustin professораustin.com if you don't see it right away. Tim says, hi, Tim. In this workshop, is it the same as Resume Mastery Pro and the cover letter magic I already have? It's going to be a slightly different, Tim. So this is like a new workshop, like brand new. You do get the gist of it in those programs. If you are in Resume Mastery Pro and you have cover letter magic, it's basically the gist, but I am sharing some new updated information with you guys just because things are changing so fast, right? And we're sharing basically what's working for our members and our clients that is getting them hired right now. And when they report back and they say, hey, I changed this, or I did this, or I enhanced this area or whatnot, we're using what's working. Like if we ever get feedback from someone that's like, hey, I tried this and it's just not working, and we're getting like 20 people that say the same thing, we're like, let's switch that strategy because we want to give you the most streamlined content so that you're not spending hours and hours and hours online trying to piece everything together. Now, is this workshop everything that we have to offer? No, it's not. We have lots of other amazing programs. In fact, I want to share with you guys. This is not. If you don't want to join us in this, that's totally fine. But we do offer our career advancement toolkit. I want to share with you in the link, just for a 1-day flash offer for the toolkit, if you're interested in grabbing that, because you guys that are here with us right now, you guys are serious about job searching. Like, if you're here, you've come up against enough discouragement and whatnot, that you're here and you're ready to learn. I want to give you guys access to the toolkit just today for a flash offer if you want to join us in that. Now, that's another program that we offer. If you want to join us in there, you can even go to I popped the link in the chat in the chat. I think it's also below in the description, but that's just going to be just for today for you guys that are here, that are listening to this message right now, because I know you're serious about the job search if you are here. And again, we listen and we hear and we get feedback and we implement, because we want this to be a win-win for you. We want you to be able to take this information, go out, land that dream job, send us an amazing success story, and then join us every now and then again if you want. We have people that are landed positions a couple of years ago that are like, Heather, I'm ready to move on. I want to do something different now. And they'll come in and they'll join our sessions. And that's what we want for you. We want to be a resource for you time and time again. And we have been a consistent resource on YouTube for the last 6 or 7 years. And we are going to continue to be a resource for you. So again, 2 things. If you want to join us in the cover letter resume makeover workshop next week, go to heatheraustin.online/live class. The first 20 people that enroll will get access to our group coaching session, which, by the way, is on March 28th. But you'll get all that information as we go forward. And then for those that are still here with me, if you want to grab the career advancement toolkit, I am going to give you a link in the chat. Tori's also popping it into the chat. 1-day flash offer for the toolkit. Again, this goes into even more information and all that amazing stuff. So again, you guys, thanks for joining us here today. Make sure you've hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already done so. Again, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when we do these live trainings. Just by you doing those 2 things, it allows us to keep this channel going. It allows us to keep bringing amazing content to you, to keep offering free resources like your networking spreadsheet or cheat sheet if you haven't already downloaded that, and to keep hosting amazing workshops for you guys to help you land that dream job offer. So again, hit the thumbs up, make sure you subscribe. And for all of those that are joining us inside of next week's live resume and cover letter workshop, I can't wait to join with you guys next week, and you'll get your link. Email me if you have questions, heather@professораustin.com, and I will see you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.